Alright, well, we've all seen like abandoned buildings. We've seen like driving by highways and all that other stuff, and I'm sure at least one time we've all been like kind of curious as to like what's in them and everything else. But there's about maybe 3 or 4 abandoned buildings in Benton. I've had the chance to go in like all of them multiple times. And it started out when I was littler, maybe like 11. And me and my friend and 2 other people, we found this building. I'm not going to say the location or anything because we found it near his house, and there was like, so we tried to get in. But luckily, since we were little, like the windows, they're like square. So basically what we did, one of us climbed on through, and then there was a board blocking the door. All you had to do was lift it up and open up the door. There was like no lock. And it was basically like we climbed the ladder down, and I mean it was neat. There's actually tunnels in there too, and we managed to like complete the whole entire thing. It wasn't like tunnels, it was just like a tunnel, but then like a door was blocking it, so we completed of what we could do, I would say. I mean, we tried to open up the door, but it was old and, you know, couldn't really move. And then after like a few years of going there, I told them about this place down by my house, and I said that I think it might be abandoned, but I'm not sure. So we kind of like scouted it out, and then once when we figured out it was abandoned, we went into it. And then this one was like darker, so instead of really exploring it, we kind of like, once one of us got scared, we all got scared, so we kind of ran out, and we didn't like go there after a few years. And then just this summer, we decided to go back there, and we had all our flashlights and gear and everything else, and we like explored every little inch of it. And then I later did research too, and it turns out like some guy died in there also. So, you know, after we figured that out, we wanted to go back just you know, we wanted to like, instead of exploring, just like listen, just to see if anything happened, but nothing did. It was, you know, people die everywhere, so. And yeah, to get, what we did to get into that one, the door was just wide open, so. There's like no way you could really open it or shut it. It was like a big, big door. And we just walked right in, so. And yeah, we kind of explored that a lot too. I mean, there's like smaller ones, but they weren't really explored as often. And then we went to this other one. It was like a little house. We always thought that someone lived in there. We always assumed someone lived in there. Turns out it was just abandoned, but like the yard was kind of kept. So what we did, the door was unlocked, you know. We knocked on it so many times and rang the doorbell, but like the temperature meter was going really slow. It has like electricity in it, but it's still abandoned. And we kind of went in there. We kind of just like, you know, went in there, and one of us took a Nintendo 64, and we bought a TV, and we brought our TVs in there. And well, then someone decided to vandalize it. It was none of us in our group. Someone also figured out that was, and they basically like destroyed everything. Like the door was busted down. There, like anything in there that they could do, they broke it. Like even there was like a Bible which we found in there. We had to like buy like an old computer that was in there. They like ripped up the Bible and everything, and there's a Chuck Norris poster in there. Of course, that thing got destroyed. You know, old fish tanks, his glass is broken, and then someone reported that they saw us, like that we used to go by there. So a friend told me that he got questioned by the police, and that they're going to come down to my house. So I freaked out, and I called the sheriff's office, and I said, how about I go down to the sheriff's, down to you guys, and say, you guys go down to me, thinking that my parents would never know. Oh. So I went down there with one other person. We both decided the same thing, that would be better if that. But it turns out, like, after a while, he's just like, so are you guys gonna call your parents? And I said, probably not. And then he said, well, you need your parents to be with you when you did this. So, you know, it was kind of, at first my mom thought that some guy, like, kidnapped me. I don't know why. So I kept saying his name. I was like, Officer Livingston. I kept saying, no, it's Officer Livingston. She was like, who's that? And she said, where are you? And everything. I said, I'm at the sheriff's office. And then when she finally calmed down, she came down there. But my mom already knew I was going through those buildings. And she says, you know, I'm going to have to, like, face my consequences. So these were my consequences. But the thing was, our number one rule was to, like, leave it where it lies. I told the sheriff everything, and he kind of gave me background on the buildings and just said to, you know, like, basically the lesson that I could learn would be, like, you know, always ask permission before going into those things. Like, I honestly wouldn't avoid those. I mean, it's neat seeing abandoned buildings. You don't really get to see it every day. So if you know the person who owns it, it'd be just fine to, like, you know, just ask permission to see if you can get in there under their surveillance, I guess, too. And then what you guys can learn from it would be the same thing I learned, was just, you know, just ask permission before going into abandoned buildings, and, you know, just, like, leave it where it lies, and, you know, treat it nicely. That way you can go in there again.